Best way to make video calls to seniors with Alzheimer's or dementia in nursing homes. A guest article from Michael Cottom. Coronavirus lockdown has been devastating for people with Alzheimer's or dementia. The coronavirus pandemic has made it very difficult to keep in touch with someone who lives in a nursing home or assisted living community. To reduce exposure to COVID-19, most of these places are in lockdown, which means that family and friends aren't allowed to visit in person. Only staff can enter the building. To make matters worse, group activities and dining room meals inside many care communities have been suspended to keep residents physically distanced to help reduce the spread of the virus. This level of isolation and the major changes in daily routine has been especially devastating for people with Alzheimer's, dementia, and other cognitive impairments. Accustomed to regular family visits and not being able to comprehend what a global pandemic is, someone with dementia doesn't understand why they're suddenly alone and often feels abandoned. Sure, there are plenty of video calling apps and devices out there, but for many older people, using these modern apps is confusing and overwhelming. And if they have memory issues, it's even harder. You can teach them how to use the device on Tuesday, and by Thursday, they've forgotten everything you've taught them. How we lost and then regained our connection with my father-in-law. When the pandemic started, my family was cut off from my father-in-law, who has dementia and lives in a memory care community. The care community staff was busy with added tasks due to COVID-19 and couldn't spend much time helping residents connect with their families. Without their help, it's nearly impossible for families to stay connected because someone with more advanced dementia isn't able to initiate or accept video calls, no matter how simple the technology. And even without memory issues, most people in nursing homes aren't terribly comfortable with new technologies like smartphones, touchscreens, and voice recognition devices. When we were able to get in touch with my father-in-law, we were shocked and saddened to see how quickly he had declined in such a short time. He got to the point where he couldn't figure out how to answer his Android phone when it rang, let alone make a call himself. And then he'd forget to plug it in to recharge it, so when we'd call, we'd always get his voicemail. So I figured out how to put a video calling system in place that would let us see and talk with him without any action needed on his part. We'd call, he'd hear our voices, turn towards the sound, he'd forget he had the device in the room until then, see our faces, and all he had to do was smile and say hello. After we were able to regularly video chat with him, my father-in-law improved significantly. Interestingly, we found conversations with him went much better when we could see each other's faces. Often, plain old phone calls would for some reason turn adversarial. To help others in similar situations, I found 3 devices that make it possible to video chat with someone who can't answer a call. They use a feature called drop-in calling. Another plus to using these types of devices is that they're plugged in all the time. The person doesn't have to remember to recharge them. My father-in-law would sometimes realize that his smartphone needed to be plugged in, and we found that he'd try things like his electric razor cord or had plugged in one end of a USB cable, but pulled the other end out of the USB charging brick. All those problems go away with a permanently plugged-in device that sits next to his TV. I also share the tips that help me get our Echo device and drop-in calling feature set up ahead of time, so I needed minimal help from the nursing home staff. What to do if their Wi-Fi connection is too weak, and share a resource for financial assistance. Drop-in calling lets you make video calls to someone who can't answer. Drop-in calling means that the device answers your call with no action needed on the part of the person receiving the call. It can be a really important feature if the person in the nursing home has forgotten how to answer the phone. With a device that has drop-in calling, you just place it in the room where they usually read or watch TV. Then, when you call, you just appear on the screen. They hear your voice, turn and see you, and off you go. The other advantage of drop-in calling is that it doesn't require a very old set of fingers to try and make a touchscreen operate. My father-in-law's hands are very dry and wrinkled. I've watched him try to swipe to answer his smartphone a half dozen times, and the screen just didn't recognize his touch like it would for a younger pair of hands. 3 video call devices with drop-in calling. 1. The ViewClix SmartFrame. 2. The Amazon Echo Show. 3. The Amazon Echo Spot. Get information on how these devices work and how much they cost by reading the rest of the article on the Daily Caring website. Also included in the rest of the article on the Daily Caring website are how to set up the drop-in feature on an Amazon Echo device, how to prepare a device to connect to the internet at a nursing home, what to do if the nursing home's Wi-Fi connection is weak, and financial assistance for video calling devices. We hope this article is helpful. Browse our website at dailycaring.com for hundreds of articles with practical senior care tips that help make caregiving a little easier.